Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Janda, and please welcome to our Operation Freedom platform, WeThePeopleProcessing.com. You know, are you tired of being threatened to be canceled just because you have a company focused on liberty and freedom? Well, worry no more, folks. WeThePeopleProcessing.com is your go-to merchant services, freedom-based company to provide business service payment solutions. We the People Processing provides their clients a cancel culture-free platform which is domestically based. They provide competitive rates, no contracts with next-day funding, a fully vetted and like-minded financial infrastructure, and full support for integrations, implementation, and e-commerce efforts. Bottom line, WeThePeopleProcessing.com focuses on defending your company's free market growth, values, and future. Check them out at www.WeThePeopleProcessing.com. Once you're on the site, enter in password Operation Freedom or call 855-499-2024. That's WeThePeopleProcessing.com. Then, when on the website, enter Operation Freedom as your password or call 855-499-2024.
Mr. President-elect,
go ahead.
Can you state
She's
categorically?
asking a question.
Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You are
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude. No, I'm not going to give you a
question.
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir.
I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to Dave versus the MSM. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. We are available 24/7 at davejanda.com. We hope you become part of our Freedom family. We're also available every Sunday for our 3-hour live radio show. It's free. All you have to do is go to davejanda.com, hit the listen live button, you're with us. Great guests, great analysis, information that the deep state does not want you to know about. Why? Because they want to keep you misinformed, disinformed, and completely uninformed. That way you're an easier target for them to strip you and everyone you know of your remaining freedoms and liberties. And that's exactly what we're fighting against on this platform. Our goal is to empower you, to educate you, and to make it so that, well, you have a brighter future because you are ahead of the curve of what the deep state players are trying to pull. What they're currently trying to pull is something called the Great Reset. And the title of today's presentation is The Reset is Here and Now. Look, they needed a spark to kick all this up. They've been setting this up for decades. But they needed an event to push this over the top. That event is the Russia-Ukraine war. And basically, and I've spoke to you about this before, but it bears repeating, what this war comes down to is who's going to run the reset afterwards. Is it going to be Soros and Schwab and the World Economic Forum and the Bank of International Settlements and the International Monetary Fund and the globalist syndicate, if you will, with their new reserve currency, that being the special drawing rights or SDRs that are a basket of currencies that they control and that they manipulate and that they link to these carbon credits? Isn't that special? Or is it going to be a reset that is essentially overseen by Putin and Xi? You see, Putin and Xi are globalists, well-established globalists. Excuse me. But they decided, they cut a side deal, I believe. They said, you know what, why should we take all the risk here and let Schwab and Soros control this? Why don't we control it? Which is why Schwab and Soros and the World Economic Forum have come out against Putin and Xi right now. Because they cut their own side deal and they said, you know what, why don't we run the reset afterwards? And rather than the SDR be the reserve currency, why don't we have it be the gold and silver-backed ruble and yuan, where we link it to commodities? And that is what this war is about. Who controls the reset? Who controls commodities? Who controls energy? Who controls food? That's what it's all about. Remember, the United States has been in the kind of the catbird seat, if you will, since 1974 when Nixon and Kissinger, globalists, cut a deal with Saudi Arabia, establishing the petrodollar, that if someone wanted to buy oil from Saudi Arabia in the Middle East, they have to purchase dollars first to purchase the oil. And then Saudi Arabia would then get given some military protection by us in kind of the quid pro quo. And Saudi Arabia would then reinvest those dollars back in our bond markets and in our stock market and the like. Well, that's coming to an end with this reset. A Fed insider, who is a pretty high-end analyst, financial analyst, Zoltan Posner, wrote, "The death of the petrodollar and the rise of Bretton Woods III. Bretton Woods I was right after the Second World War. The dollar became the reserve currency backed by gold. Bretton Woods II was when Nixon in 71 took us off gold backing. And now this is III. And guess what? The dollar is going to be left in the cold. Fact. That's why you need to protect yourself." This is what Posner wrote, quote, "The New World Order will begin a new monetary system, Bretton Woods III. Commodity reserves will be an essential part of Bretton Woods III, and historically, wars are won by those who have more food and energy supplies." You might say, well, that's kind of conspiracy theory. No, look what's happening. I know the bought-off lamestream fake media is not talking about this, but let's look. Zero Hedge. Putin signs decree ordering gas exports to be halted if the buyers don't pay in rubles. They thought he was, joking around. He's not going to follow through. Well, Gazprom halts gas shipments to Europe via critical pipeline. Oh, he actually did follow through. Then we have this. Germany scrambles to ration gas after refusing to make payments in rubles. They thought he was bluffing. No, not at all. German Energy Minister Robert Habeck has activated the early warning phase of Germany's gas emergency laws. In addition, another government minister suggested that the German citizens, quote, and I'm not kidding about this, wear warmer sweaters, end quote, in coping with soaring energy costs. It's kind of like, remember Jimmy Carter? Told you to do the same thing back in the late 70s. How'd that work out for him? Not so well. And then we have the Klingon himself, right? The Bond villain, Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum, who's on one side of this reset, right? World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab warns global energy systems, food systems, and supply chains will be deeply affected. He's warning us. Remember what we always say about the globalists? They always assume that we're in the shower and they're going to flush the toilet. And they think they're being ethical if they warn us that they're about to flush the toilet, right, while we're in the shower. And that's exactly what they're doing. MyShield products are EPA and FDA approved and are proven ready to help you, your family, and your community neutralize COVID, bacteria, viruses, spores, and fungi. The water-based alcohol-free hand sanitizer foam and disinfectants are safe for people, animals, and the environment. Application of the MyShield products has been confirmed by independent studies to provide persistent protection for 28 days on surfaces and for 4 hours on the skin with just one application with a very quick dry time. Check out MyShield products at OperationFreedomHealth.com. That's OperationFreedomHealth.com. Klaus Schwab, founder of the World Economic Forum, warned of global cyber attacks and worldwide disruptions with food and energy systems. Quote, history is at a turning point, end quote. He said this at the 2022 World Government Summit in Dubai. He said the answer to this problem, what do you think he said? What do you think he said is the answer to this food and energy problem? And we need to expand government power. Yeah. Okay. And we need to institute a reset. Yeah. Meanwhile, an economist who worked for George W. Bush, globalist, just like Daddy, H.W., globalist, economist at World Government Summit says new financial world order is about to shift in dramatic new direction. Dr. Pippa Malmgren, an American economist who served as a special advisor to W. Quote, we are on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we are about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting. Oh, how special. And Lavrov, out of Russia, who obviously works with Putin on that side of the reset equation, the Putin-Xi side, right? Lavrov, who's the equivalent of the Secretary of State. Russia and China are moving toward a multipolar fair world order. Well, fair because the ruble and the yuan will become the reserve currency in that scenario of the reset. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov met with his Chinese counterpart, where he said the two are carving a path toward a fairer world order. The two countries will work to achieve, quote, a multipolar, fair, and democratic world order, end quote, Lavrov said. Now, many people in the United States say, this might affect some people in Europe, but it's not going to affect folks in the United States about the energy side and the food side. Just go to the grocery store, see what prices are like, right? What about energy? Oh, we got plenty of... No, just look at how much you paying for gas in where you live? Ours is a lot higher in Michigan, I can tell you. But then there's this. Austin, Texas, right? They pump a lot of oil down there, right? Austin Airport warns it may run out of jet fuel. It's from Zero Hedge. We recently warned that Europe is about to be hit with an unprecedented shortage of diesel as gas stations run dry of the vital liquid. But little did we know that the first actual crisis would hit in America's own backyard, and not just anywhere, but the state synonymous with commodity extraction. Airport officials in Austin, Texas warned of an impending jet fuel shortage amid a surge in travel to and from the state's capital. Yeah. So, as this reset unfolds, what do we know? We know from both sides of the equation that physical commodities, not paper assets, physical commodities will be the cornerstone of that system. So the single most effective thing you can do from an insurance standpoint is have physical gold and physical silver. These have stood the test of time any time a system has reset. That's number one. Number two, you should have storable food and water. Because if there are supply disruptions like these scum are predicting, you need to protect yourself. Just look at what's happening in Peru with food shortages. Just look at what's happening in Shanghai. They're locking people down. They closed all the food stores, grocery stores. People are starving to death. Those that are not starving are those that said, hey, I'm going to put some food and water away just in case. Right? You need to create an insurance plan for yourself. And the entities that can help with that are gold, physical gold and silver for your financial insurance, and storable food and storable water for your health and welfare. Look, the hope is when we get through this tunnel, things are better. However, we're going to go through this reset tunnel, and you need to protect yourself. You will never hear this through the bought-off lamestream fake media because they're a tentacle of the deep state, and they want you to be vulnerable. Because if you're vulnerable, then you're dependent upon them. You're not independent. The key is independence. That is how you protect yourself. That is what the bought-off lamestream fake media will never tell you, but I will. I hope you'll join us at davejanda.com. We have tremendous guests with great analysis. We are there 24/7. We have tremendous amount of free content at davejanda.com. And our subscription content at 30 cents a day is, in fact, priceless and puts you months, if not years, ahead of the curve. I thank you for joining me today. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today.